This is something that my sister gave me. She found this on a marketplace, and it was, in fact, that of an oriental dragon. Um, she asked me if it's actually okay to have an oriental dragon close to your dragon altar, and I said to her, of course. A dragon is a dragon. Doesn't matter what kind of it, what shape it has. Dragons have all kinds of shapes. It's all kind. They describe the dragon in all different kind of matters. So, for example, here in Europe, they are described as reverence and Western dragons. But on the Oriental side, they describe them as serpent-like beings. And there are a couple of things that you might want to know about the Chinese or the Oriental dragons, because they are viewed quite differently, because all of the years the dragon has changed from a deity into something lesser good. And some people might even still believe that the dragon is not a good being, but in fact, when humanity was young, all of the dragons and all forms of the dragons were seen as deities. And the Oriental dragon is now still seen as a deity. Because I have some facts that you might want to know about Oriental dragons, because there is a high chance that there is a dragon of that kind in your dragon eye. The first thing that you need to know is that the dragon of the or the Oriental dragon or the Chinese dragon is in fact all animals at once, all animals of the zodiac combined as one being. The eyes of the rabbit, the foot of the, I mean, no, the, let me see this. The manes of the lion, also features of something of the snake, the serpent, or the pig, and yeah, every animal that sometimes people see as inferior, or the fish, yeah, of course. Every feature of the dragon, of I mean the animals of the zodiac, is combined inside of the dragon, the Oriental dragon. So that is also why the ancient monarchs don't eat meat, because they are in fact, all of the animals are divine. When you see the dragon, you see all the animals at once, and you see actually the divine being. So that is the reason why they respect it, and they also believe very much in reincarnation, that one day they might return as a human, or maybe an animal, one of the animal of the zodiacs, or they can return as the dragon. So heavily believers in reincarnation. When you have a dragon by your side that is oriental, that is a being of power, a being of divinity, a being that is so strong you cannot even imagine as a human how strong it is. And that is the second thing of the Oriental dragons. They are the guardians of the heavens. The guardians of the heavens means that no one can enter the heavens if you are not allowed to. Well, actually, there's also a feature that other dragons have, but the Oriental dragons are very well known for to be the guardians of the heavens and the guardians of every single gate. So, in fact, that is, like I said, a bit the same thing, and that is what you need to know about it. As the dragon gods Leviathan and Quetzalcoatl are also the serpent-like beings like the Oriental dragons are. The third things that you need to know about the Oriental dragons are the most well-known ones, are Tialong and Shenlong. Shenlong translates literally as dragon god, and Tialong is the celestial dragon, and together they control the weather. Together they control everything. So the people from ancient Asia were actually very afraid of that, for displeasing the two dragons, the dragon gods. So they might send bad weather. And so all of the crops and all that they worked for is in vain, because the dragons are displeased. And it is also where they were so much afraid of, because they know that the dragons were controlling the weather and controlling everything that has to do with nature. So that never actually changed, because Tialong and Shenlong are still very much worshipped to this day in ancient Asia and China. Um, so sorry. What you also need to know, a fact about the ancient Asian dragon, is that they are not bound to the physical. So the dragon, the Oriental dragons can come before you as your dragon guardian, but they are not bound to the physical. Is in fact that they are always going to be spirits, because here they can come as spirits. Sometimes people in China still see Tialong and Shenlong coming by, passing by inside of the air in the skies. Well, those are not actually the guardians of you by your side, but there can be so many other oriental dragons that can be by your side. And the first one actually that I've seen was very much later in my dragon's path, when I came to meet my brother Eric, when I've seen his dragon by his side, and his dragon was an oriental black dragon that I've seen for the very first time. It was an amazing power that I could feel with him. But I didn't actually believe that I should stay there. But I encountered this energy, and this energy was amazing. It was a beautiful energy that I've never felt before. It was something that I could describe as divine, very much divine, godlike. But he was his friend. That was also very clear. It's a very high connection with my brother Eric. Um, Another thing that you need to know is that in China they try to have a child being born on the year of the dragon, because the emperors of China were seen as the reincarnations of the dragons, because they were so powerful and so strong, more like a being that could be the ruler of all of the uh, China, all of the more like the emperor, you can say, the emperor of China, as a reincarnation, because the emperor of China was seen as something strong, and the authority that they had, that because the dragon was also seen as the most perfect being, so the reincarnation of the dragon, a strong being. So in China they try to have their child being born on the year of the dragon in the hopes that they can have all this power of the emperor. So in hope that they might be the reincarnation of the dragon. So if you are born in the year of the dragon, it might just be that the oriental dragon lives inside of you. Um, Yeah, and the very much difference between the dragon by your side, I mean the dragon of the Western dragon, the Wyvern dragon, or the other kinds of dragons, and the Chinese dragon. Actually, what I've seen the most difference in is that the Oriental dragon doesn't come because you have a high connection in the beginning. The dragon of the Oriental dragon has this connection because they create this connection with you, because they saw potential in you, because they saw this strong individual in you that has so much potential. So the Oriental dragon or the Chinese dragon see the same energy that they have within them. So they choose you, unlike the other dragons that are already connected with you already because of the dragon eye that doesn't end. But here, the dragon eye begins somewhere because the oriental dragon decided to be with you, decided to be on your dragon's eye. So in fact, it's a different kind of way of connecting than the other kind of dragons. So, like I said, for example, Imogi. That is also a very beautiful story. Imogi shows that the Oriental dragon or the Chinese dragon is an amazing shapeshifter. The story of Imogi is about a girl that could shapeshift in that of a dragon. She could control the weather, what every kind of the of dragon of the Oriental dragon could do. They could change the weather, but in fact, everyone in the village thought that she was just a little girl until one day they saw her changing into that of the Oriental dragon. And until this day, she was actually very much worshipped because she was not feared. She was seen as going to the heavens. Imogi is still to this day a very well-known dragon in the ancient Asian mythology, but actually not mythology because it's a very much believed. It's more like a faith that they have in Imogi or in Shenlong and Tialong. So yeah, that shows actually how strong of a shapeshifter that they are. Shapeshifters, and that yeah, not really manipulators, but shapeshifters and changers of their. Yeah, this is why they all have the features of the dragons. I mean, animals of the zodiac, because they can shape in whatever animal or even human that they want. So in fact, if someone says to me, is the Asian dragon or the Chinese dragon as special as any kind of dragon for with wings? Because the ancient Asian dragon doesn't have wings, yet they can fly. You know why? Because they are not bound to the physical. They are one with the air. They are one with the earth. So they don't need wings to fly. So they have this ability that is a bit more, much more larger of that than that of a Western or a Wyvern dragon. They are in fact one with the wind, one, and that is also why Quetzalcoatl, for example, is the lord of the air, because he doesn't need actually the wings. He is one with it. He is one with the sky. When they go to the sky, they go to guard the heavens, and so they don't need the wings to fly, and sometimes dragons need the wings to fly. Most of the time, you will be accompanied by a dragon that has large wings. But if you have an Asian dragon by your side, they most of the time don't have wings because they don't need it. They are not bound to the physical. They will always float into the air and be one with everything, with all of the four elements. Because also with the Asian dragon, the four elements is very important to understand. The four elements are in fact that what creates life. And never forget, the Asian dragon exists of all beings at once. So they are everything, and everything that needs to be. So that means also including the four elements, or even what I could say, the five elements. So you can have an Asian dragon by your side very much, but they will slightly be different than that of the European dragon.